Well, hello guys, welcome back to another episode of Everyday EDC. Today is Thankful Thursday, or Thoughtful Thursday. So it was, what knife are you thankful to have, or what knife went, a lot of thought into that maybe you received as a gift or something that kind of means a lot to you. That's kind of the idea. This one was a little bit of a stretch. So, I have two, and they're kind of both ends of the spectrum. The actual one that I should have brought is, I guess you could call my only safe queen, but it's not really a safe queen in that sense. I think it's like it's a tack force or something, right? I don't know the brand, but when I first got into knives, my wife got me this very special Father's Day, it's one of those assisted knives with serrations that has a fire stick in it. It's like trying to do a ton of things at once. And I'm very thankful for that. That actually sits right where I record videos, up on the wall, and it says Father's Day, I think 2019. I think it was my very first Father's Day too. So it was really cool, and the idea of it is awesome. And so that one means a lot to me, and that one never leaves my wall. I love it. I appreciate the family for doing that and whatnot. So that one's not with me, but that would probably be my number one pick if I were to use it. My fear is that if I use it and then I lose an edge, I'll never be able to put another one on there, because you never know with those knives. But we'll start off with, I am thankful, it's another Civivi, for my Civivi bow. Now at first you're going to be like, you just got that. This isn't a thankful style knife. Well, first and foremost, this may be my favorite Civivi in existence. I'm usually a guy that likes larger knives. This thing is just so well done. And the cool thing is while this has a lot of Civivi design language, you can tell, kind of like the McKenna, there's something else going on here, right? Brad Zinker design, that's what this is. And I think you can feel it in the knife itself. It's just very, very well done, and off-centered right now a little bit. We'll fix that later. So this one means a lot to me, not in the sense that I really like the knife. This is symbolic of, I guess, my knife journey, right? I started off the channel by basically getting into Civivis. What the hell? Basically getting into Civivis, right? My very first Civivi was the Civivi Shredder. And that just, game changer, guys. The bug out wasn't a game changer, it just sent me on the path. The Shredder went, oh gosh, I dove so far, so deep, so quick into the knife world. And so I guess I am thankful, this is going to sound cheesy, but I'm thankful to Civivi for kind of starting the journey. And that's what this symbolizes. It's not about the Civivi bow, it's about the symbolism behind Civivi, and that's just, it's what led me down the path. Now, I'm sure there's plenty of other knives that could have done it, and I'm sure there's plenty of other knives that you guys have experienced that have done it for you. But for me, it was this brand. And then I actually got to a point where I was so mad at the brand because everything was so just pumping out stuff that I was just so tired of it. And now it's bringing me back in. So Civivi, I'm thankful for getting me into the knife game. I'm thankful for opening my eyes to what realistically sets the bar for budget knives. That's my first thankful, thoughtful situation there. This one I couldn't get away from, and I couldn't see any other knife in the collection that I valued more than this. This is my Hinderer XM18 Skinny Sheep's Foot. I've done a lot to it. Got some titanium hardware. I put an MXG pocket clip on there that, at first I thought it was going to be really dumb. And then once I put it on there, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It, in my opinion, kind of makes the ergonomics so just I don't feel anything in this knife other than what you're supposed to feel. It feels great, choked up or not. And then I took off the flipper tab, as you guys can see. I did a flipper delete. And, it takes the profile to this. It's on phosphor bronze. I changed it from bearings to phosphor bronze. And it just feels so good. The profile is so cool. Without that flipper tab, it looks like a dinosaur. I was thinking the Jurassic, it just looks kind of like a, right? So what this knife kind of means to me in the sense of thankful and thoughtfulness is this is the very first high-end knife that I got. And most of you, especially if you're newer to the knife game, and I call it knife game like I'm cool, the knife world, the knife community, right? You guys started watching somebody probably like Slicey or Metal Complex. And what that did for you is it added, especially Metal Complex, added a lot of positivity to the community, a lot of positivity to the idea of knives. But it also probably biased you towards Hinderer. Let's not shake the fence or tree or whatever bad analogy, metaphor. But we're probably biased towards Hinderer because of him. So it's the first knife that you just hear nonstop. Like nobody, they don't shut up about the Hinderers, right? Now, Hinderer I love, but I don't love like they love, I think. I don't know. I do have two, so maybe. And most people don't even have one. So that is one of the things I'm grateful for, is that A, I was able to get my hands on one, but B, I was able to afford it at the time, and C, it's my first high-end knife that became my own, that I was able to make my own, that I'm not scared to use. I'm nothing like that, right? And it's really, really good. It just, everything about it is just so nice. The ergonomics, I think the Skinny is probably the best of the bunch, mainly because, in your pocket it feels great, but in your hand it feels great too. I mean, it's just really, really, really nice. Now, at first I was kind of like, I got the sheep's foot because it was the only Hinderer at the time. When I was ready to buy a Hinderer, the COVID stuff was going on, and so nobody was doing anything, and you couldn't find these. And I think this popped up on Reddit, and so I snatched it up real quick. I think I got it on Reddit. I might have splurged and got it from a site. I don't remember. I honestly don't. I think I got it from Reddit, but it was brand new because the Skinnies had just dropped. The Skinny sheep's foot just dropped, and I think I picked one up like a month after it dropped. But the reason that I'm thankful for this, like I said, is it's a hard to obtain item. It's really a luxury item. Let's nobody kid ourselves. We don't need this, and it makes me happy. And it's funny because I try to show all the other knives in my collection some love, right? Like they all have their own personalities and their own feelings, and you're like, oh, I gotta carry you. I haven't carried you in a while. And what ends up happening is I pick this up, and then I talk myself out of carrying it because I feel bad about not carrying the other knives. If I could get rid of every knife in my collection and keep one, this would be in the top 3 or 5 if I were to ever make that list. This would easily be up there, if not the winner. And it means a lot because it's also something that I feel like you just kind of got, you've taken the journey from, as I've shown, the Civivi all the way up to Hinderer. I felt some over $1,000 knives, and it's funny because this is my luxury preference as far as price range. If I'm gonna be luxurious about what I carry, it's the CRK or the Hinderers. I don't really like the Medfords. And I've noticed that I prefer to stay in this range, and I'm starting to circle back to budget knives. Like I enjoy budget knives too. So this is the top end of the spectrum of just, I think I'm grateful for the community and being a part of it. And this is a symbolism of going up and down, and it shows you got people who are perfectly comfortable in the CJRB Civivi range, which is more than okay and probably the smartest of the bunch of us, to be honest. You're valuing function over name and intricacies of things, right? The Civivi bow, this is an $80 knife, and that's even luxurious, but this thing's really all you need on a most day-to-day basis. Or the Civivi Durus, right? The Civivi Durus was my dude. I love the Durus. If they were ever to make like an upgraded version of the Durus or put it in titanium, I would be all over that. That's why I like the Thug so much. It reminds me of the Durus. So what I'm saying is to be a part of a community where, there's a whole broad spectrum. There's things to window shop at. There's things to look at. There's beautiful pieces that in your mind you'll never you almost don't even want, but it's cool to look at. You kind of want to feel it. And then there's the opposite side where it's like you get a little bit of luxury at a budget price for almost the same functioning items, if not the same, depending on how well you treat your blade and how much you use it, right? If you need that M390 or, S90V, that's one thing, but most people don't need that. So, it's kind of a weak, it's like a weak answer, but I think the meaning to me isn't, I'm not able to convey it like it's happening in my brain. So, I think the two knives that I am most grateful for is the Civivi brand. And that's not me being a Civivi fanboy, because you guys know I have a love-hate relationship with Civivi. I'm grateful that I got into the community and my eyes opened by a Civivi knife. Not necessarily I'm grateful for Civivi as a brand itself. This new truck. And then on the Hinderer side of things, I'm grateful for the opposite end of the spectrum, that we can have something that you're super proud to own and it just makes you happy. And I think everybody who owns something like this, or like a Civivi, you guys can, nobody really judges each other on what you carry either, It's like if you don't get into that, because your budget doesn't allow it or whatever the case is, it's perfectly acceptable, and everybody can appreciate different aspects of the spectrum. That's what I am grateful for with these two knives. So tomorrow is Friday. So as usual, I didn't think this out. I'm kind of winging these. Give me a little bit, I'll chop the video up, and I'll let you know what tomorrow's theme is. But in the meantime, in the comments below, let me know what you're carrying, what knife you're thankful / a lot of thought goes into. It's Thoughtful, Thankful Thursday. All right, we got it. So tomorrow is going to be Finish Friday, okay? So by Finish Friday, I don't mean Finland, the country. I mean finish as in the finish of your knife. Now, how does that play a role in what you carry? I want you guys, again, if you're going to carry a Safe Queen, bring something else so you don't blame me for damaging your knife in your day-to-day usage. I want you guys to carry the knife that you like the finish on the best. Now, by finish, I'm really referring to the way it looks. Basically looks. It's kind of like a looks Friday, right? Which finish is your favorite? It could be a blade, right? The Harpoon Spanto with a, what do they call that? The battle worn, whatever on the blade or whatever it's called. It could be anything. But what finish do you like the best? Or it could be your scales. Like my Medford Slim Midi, I again don't really like the knife as much, but the finish on the scales, it's got this tie-dye on the titanium and it looks so good, right? That could be what it means to you too. So tomorrow is Finish Friday. Bring your favorite looking finish. It doesn't have to be your favorite knife, but your favorite looking finish. And it only has to be one aspect of the finish. It doesn't have to be the broad spectrum. That is all I got for you guys today. My name is Tyler. This is Everyday EDC. You guys stay sharp, stay safe, and what is in your pocket for Thoughtful / Thankful Thursday?